It is that time of the week once again, 2 o'clock hour on a Thursday, album swap time. And it's the first time we've done 2 albums neither of us had ever heard going into the week. How'd you enjoy this week where neither of us had heard the album? Do you like this version or do you like the other version?
Well, I like both.
Can do either way?
Yeah, I can do either way.
All right, where are we going to start? Lil Kim or Jellyroll?
Jellyroll.
Let's start with Jellyroll. All right, it is a 2020 album called A Beautiful Disaster. Okay, and you had never heard of this guy either?
I mean, I heard of him just because the CMT Awards was in the ATX a couple of weeks ago, and I know he rocked it and had part of downtown closed off and stuff, and he won a couple of awards.
He did. He won awards. He, had a nice kind of cut a promo and said he was going to shut 6th Street down, like you mentioned, all that kind of stuff. So that was cool. All right, so let's get into this thing a little bit. Overall, what'd you think of Jellyroll?
You know, I've been slightly hating all week, and more that I got into it, the more and more that I looked him up and did research about him, I have way more appreciation for him than I did on Monday when I first started listening to the album.
Okay.
Now, is it for me? No. But I know it's good. I could tell it's good. His background is nuts. Like growing up in the Nashville area.
Hell of a story, yeah.
Dude was into drugs or selling drugs and stuff, been in and out the pen. So, he has big time hip hop roots. And that's kind of where he started, just rapping and stuff with guys like Lil White, who I heard of from around that same area. He did an album that was produced by 3 6 Mafia's DJ Paul and Juicy J. So the stuff that we didn't listen to, I guess, is more hip hop beforehand. So he's gone through a lot of genres of music and really talented guy.
So then this stuff, like once we got to this album here in 2020, this is more of him headed towards country-ish? Because I wouldn't consider
pop-ish.
This album doesn't strike me as country, though.
It's not.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of country, a little bit of rock, a lot of rap in it. Interesting.
Okay, so for you, as a hip-hop fan, do you respect his rapping?
Yes.
Okay.
I heard some freestyles. The dude's got flow.
Okay.
The dude, he could definitely go. Now, I haven't listened to his previous stuff where he's strictly rapping, but I heard a couple of freestyles where he's just going in on other people's beats. He's got some serious flow to him.
So for you, and you know this as well as anybody, in that world, in the world of hip-hop, if you're going to be a successful, badass, respected white rapper, you better be good.
Absolutely.
So he's on that level. This is not I'm just trying to throw this name out because I think I know where this is for you. This is not like a Macklemore for you.
No.
Okay. Because Macklemore you do not respect on that level.
No.
As the rap hip-hop guy.
No, it's not Macklemore's fault. It's just when he got that Grammy for Best Rap Album, I had a huge problem with that.
Because you thought there were better albums.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't necessarily
throw
hate
him in the rap, but
you don't necessarily hate Macklemore.
No,
right.
It's not rap compared to other guys.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So Jellyroll, I thought there's some really catchy stuff. Really catchy stuff, but this particular album is dark.
See, and that's it.
And I sort of enjoyed that part of it. I like the edge of it. I'm reading up that right before this album, his dad died in like the year or two before. His mom was very, very sick as this album is being developed. So the Bottle and Mary Jane, the song Creature, Tears Could Talk, the Jesus and Rock and Roll. I mean, it's I don't know if there's one song on here I would say is happy, but sometimes that's kind of what I'm looking for out of this realm. When I'm looking at rap and metal, sometimes I don't want happy. I like the dark side.
Yeah.
And he really gets into that here, deals with some serious issues. There's a song called Suicide, and it's not ironic. It's about, life being hard sometimes and things like that. So I respected that edge to this album that it was kind of exploring that stuff.
Yeah, and that's why it was tough for me. Because when I listen to music, I'm trying to get away, and I'm already a happy-go-lucky person, so I want to listen to some positive hip-hop.
So you were looking for a little more happy
stuff. It's like, bro, come on, you're such a down. Then the next song, you're still talking about suicide, still talking about like gun to your head and stuff. I get it. There's people that need to relate to that stuff, and that's perfect for that.
Yeah.
It is. But everybody has their own taste, and that is definitely not mine.
Okay.
No, and but I could tell it's good. It just doesn't hit my ears.
Yeah, definitely not an album. And I would say this about some other rap albums I've listened to. Not an album you probably want to be going into in a bad mood.
No.
You probably need to do what you did. Go in a happy mood and realize that we're going to get serious.
Yeah, and he's quoted saying, when he tells his stories, he's very empathetic on what he says, and he wants to share his life with people so they can relate.
Yeah.
So, the dude's doing things right for sure. Have you seen his wife? Did you check her out?
The wife is attractive.
So did you look at their story and how they met?
I have not heard how they met. I did see the name of her podcast. I like that.
So she jokes about
the Dumb Blonde podcast.
Yeah, she jokes about it being her and Jellyroll, a prostitute and a hick.
Really?
Because she was a high-class escort.
They have the Pretty Woman story?
Yes.
He was Richard Gere?
Yes.
She was Julia?
Yeah. And
that's the most romantic thing I'm going to hear all day.
He says that she bigged him up. She's about 6 years older than him. When they met, he was living in his van.
Wow.
So she was making all the paper, and she was the one that really believed in him. So the song Suicide is actually about her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like, I look you in the eyes of suicide. It's about her, and she loves it.
Very cool. All right, so you got a grade for me on Jellyroll?
6.5.
6.5. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I went 7.5 on this one.
Okay.
Not an album I'll probably go back to a whole lot. And I don't know that I didn't love it as a full album as much as I dug a couple songs.
Right.
That's the difference for me. There was 2 or 3 songs on there I liked. Overall, it got a little generic for me throughout, but I'm glad to hear your reaction to. I thought the rap talent was there.
It is there.
I wasn't always completely really claws into what he was going through and how he was delivering it, but the talent to me is there. So I'm glad to hear that a rap fan is giving him that respect. And now I'm starting to understand why, like, the country realm might like him, but it also feels like the rap world respects him too.
Yeah, he grew up listening to 8 Ball, MJG, 3 6 Mafia, Paul Wall, Chameleon there, Pimp C and Bun B. So yeah, he knows hip hop, and I went to his YouTube and listened to some freestyles. He's got some serious flow. Somebody on the Specs text line is talking about him, the Beautiful Disaster album, that kind of being a different album than what he was used to. So that's him really, changing the way he goes about things when it comes to his music and changing his flow a little bit and going more on the country pop side and Beautiful Disaster. So I want to hear some stuff before that.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe I'll back up and listen to that first, like, Waylon and Willie stuff, the stuff he was doing with some collaborations. Have to check that out. Whiskey Sessions and things like that. All right, so the other album we checked out was Lil Kim and Hardcore. God, I hope you don't have any of that to play, because I don't know if we can. I mean, I
got the instrumental.
Just the beats, good.
Yeah.
November of '96 is when this album came out. Executive producer Biggie Smalls, and pretty much produced by everybody. There's like 70 producers on this record.
This girl, just what she did for women's hip hop, what she's done for women's hip hop, legendary. And she might be the most legendary side chick of all time, but she low-key embraces that. You know the story. You should know the story. Her and Biggie Smalls. Biggie was the one that discovered her.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them being from Brooklyn, and Biggie just heard her rapping one day and was like, "Yo, you got something." And then they kind of had a relationship and stuff. And Biggie was wilding. He definitely was. And he put her in Junior Mafia, which was a 9-man crew. She was the only woman there. The song I played in the instrumental, Get Money, that's the song that she really got famous for. And she made her own album, Hardcore. And when I mean by just, as a trendsetter for women's hip hop, she made women feel sexy and talk about things that Queen Latifah and MC Lyte weren't talking about.
Right.
And she got a lot of heat for it.
I bet she did.
Bad heat, where people were saying, yo, Lil Kim, you're basically a prostitute. She was like, nah, I'm just sexy, and I got flow.
Yeah, and we're gonna wrap about
She
what I
gonna
want to
rap
wrap
about
about.
what she gonna rap about.
All right, so Zay, here's the breakdown you probably didn't see coming. You ready?
Let's go.
She wasn't dirty enough for me.
Word?
And I didn't enjoy how she was presented on this album. I was expecting more. And I mean that as a critique of the men around her. In the first 4 tracks, I hear from Jay-Z, I hear from Puffy, and I hear from Biggie. I wasn't really hearing a lot of focus on Lil Kim. Now, 15 seconds into the record, she makes a reference to something really nasty and dirty and sex-oriented, and I thought, okay, cool. And then it kind of went away. And I felt like she was being used on this album as a, hey, get this woman's going to say a couple words that you don't think she's going to say. And then we kind of moved on. The songs I really love where she kind of shows off, they're late in this record.
Right.
They're like tracks 10 and 12 and 14. Or excuse me, 10, 12, and 13 I thought were great. So there's some good songs on here, but I didn't get enough of Lil Kim, honestly.
See, what I've noticed about you when we do these album reviews, you need a really good start.
Yep, I do.
You need a really good start.
I like a good start.
It can't start off slow, and then once it gets going, if it doesn't start off fast, then that kind of hurts your ears into the rest of the album.
The very first intro references someone having sex with Lil Kim from their perspective, from the guy's perspective. This whole album to me feels like it's not Lil Kim grabbing a hold of it and saying, this is mine. There's a bunch of guys around her trying to figure it out. There's a little songs, not songs, little vignettes. You know, I'm also not a fan of a 30, 40-second song that doesn't do much when it's not really a song, the little interludes.
Yeah, a lot of those.
There's like 4 of them on this record. And some of them are just, hey, am I going to have sex with Kim or not? I don't know. Are you going to have sex with Kim? Are we going to have sex with Kim? Where was Kim on that? And I know there's a couple where she is on there, but I needed more Lil Kim. I need expansion of the dirty. Dirty reference is fine. Let's keep going with that dirty. I loved the We Don't Need It. Very good. I like Not Tonight. Dreams, talking about the R&B world.
Oh, that's such a jam.
Fantastic. But Dreams is the 10th track on this record.
Yeah.
They just take so long to me to get to it. That's what disappointed me. But that talent you're talking about, it is so clear. It's there. I love that she had enough guts to do it. I love that she had enough guts to be that nasty in 96. I just wish they'd have gotten out of the way and let her do more of it.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Biggie was the one that said, you know, you need to be more sexy because that's what's going to sell. And she wanted to be more hard and tough. Like this girl from Brooklyn. So she's seen some stuff.
Now, I will say this. I read up on the song, which one is? Oh, Big Mama Thang, track 2.
There we go.
The original track was a diss track to, what's Evans' first name?
Faith Evans.
Faith Evans and Tupac.
Yep.
Tupac died a month before this album came out.
Yep, had to scratch it.
So Biggie decided we probably shouldn't have that on the record. So they redid it, and if you listen to it, you can hear a little bit of it. It feels like, okay, let's put Jay-Z on this part. Let's put her in, but have her do a different verse. So that song was supposed to be different.
Yeah, she disses the both of them. And yeah, when Tupac died, what she says, who shot ya? Which Pac dropped who shot ya, dissing Junior Mafia and Big and them. So it was very bad timing. But that's the thing. Big was so much of an influence on this album. He picked all her pictures for the cover.
Yeah.
There's a legendary Lil Kim poster where she has like her legs spread. Look it up. Type in legendary Lil Kim poster.
Okay.
She has like her legs spread. She's wearing this like leopard bikini and like a mink jacket.
Uh-huh.
That poster is like the hip hop equivalent to Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
If you were around that time, you had that poster. That poster is something serious. And he picked that. So,
I see.
He probably took out a lot of her lyrics.
I could see that being legendary. Oh, you can get a T-shirt. You want a T-shirt? It's right there. A T-shirt right there. Yeah. So you can definitely feel his influence on that. And then you had to tell me to go re-listen to a song called "Crush on You" because on the album version it says featuring Lil Cease, except it's pretty much all Lil Cease, and I don't hear Lil Kim very much.
Yeah, it's all Lil Cease.
She says like 3 words in the whole song.
Yeah, Cameron actually wrote that verse for Lil Cease, but he was on the original the whole time, and Then they realized, this is a really good song. Let's put Kim on it. They made a video, iconic video, where Kim's wearing like all types of different colors and stuff.
And by the way, I thought the song was much better with her on it.
It is.
Yeah, much, much better. All right, so what's your grade on Lil Kim? Where'd you grade her out?
8.
8 flat?
8 flat.
Okay. I'm right under there. I went 7, 8. I wanted more of her. It's not because what you think, because people might look at me and go, oh, he's going to say it was too dirty and too filthy. No. It's exactly the opposite. I wanted it to just ratchet up a little more and give me a track like We Don't Need It or Dreams earlier in the record. Again, this is an album discussion. So you gotta grab a hold, man. First 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks, give me something other than voices I know that aren't Lil Kim.
But if you think about the voices she put on there, they're legendary voices.
They are.
Like Jay-Z, Jermaine Dupri, Diddy.
But that gets me to the next point I would say to all those guys. I know who you are, Jay-Z, and I know who you are, Biggie, because I've listened to your entire Ready to Die album, and then I know Combs is talented. I would say to them, where's the accelerated songwriting? Where's that? I know what all y'all can do. Why aren't you doing it for her? Why isn't this Lil Kim's album where you guys are setting her up to be truly legendary and badass?
Yeah.
I just didn't feel that at the beginning of that album.
Just still being such a male-dominant era, I think it has a lot to do with it.
But I'm telling you, once you get to those, if you have not heard the poetry of the song Dreams, I can't even say what she says after what she's dreaming of, but it's brilliant. It is brilliant. All those little references to the other singers is brilliant. The song We Don't Need It is a wild back and forth between. Oh my God! You don't need it. Oh, between the women. See, and that's the kind of that's the kind of rap, like nasty equality I wanted early on. That could have set the tone early in that album if they'd put it earlier on. That's a great song though. And then what's the other one that I loved? We Don't Need It, and not the Not Tonight song.
Right.
That's fantastic. That is a fantastic song. I think if you actually listen to it for the X's and O's of it, I think she's contradicting herself with what she's actually saying. But anyway, it's a wonderful song. The last critique I would have is, if you're going to end an album with a song entitled F You, and not just F You, but it's actually the word, I'm going to need 2 things. A, I'm going to need someone to actually say those 2 words in succession, which no one ever did. The song's not that well written to me, and Lil Kim had 1 verse. Now, the verse actually was, I thought, pretty good, and she started going where I wanted her to go way before that. Tell them why you're Lil Kim. Tell them I can rap about whatever I want to. This is not just about sex. It's about this. It's about that. And yeah, I will rap about sex. There's nothing you can do about it.
Sure.
She kind of got to it. That's the last track, Zay. It's the very last track on the album.
Okay, so put all the tracks that are at the end. If we throw them at the beginning, what would you rate it?
Oh, see, if you could get all those towards the beginning, and we
in the 8s.
We could trim some things up. We're definitely into the 8s.
Okay.
We're absolutely into the 8s.
Yeah, that makes me feel better.
The ordering of it was just weird for me, but yeah, I dig the talent. Now, would you tell me there are other Lil Kim albums to listen to? Now, you haven't listened to any of them, right?
No,
all the way through.
I've just heard Lil Kim hit singles.
I'm interested to go into kind of like past this. Where did it go?
You're right, because I felt like we had to do the one when Biggie was alive because he was such a big influence on her life.
Yeah.
But he was also so controlling. She really couldn't be her.
Yeah. And if you're a Lil Kim fan out there and there is an album where Lil Kim just goes off, let us know. What is it? Like, what's the one that I was really looking for here?
And that's Biggie's fault. I think he should have realized, look, I'm a piece of ish. Why Biggie, R.I.P., one of the greatest rappers of all time, wasn't a good person, really. He wasn't. His relationship with Lil Kim was abusive. He married Faith Evans when he was 20. He was cheating on Faith with Lil Kim and stuff. So on that song, Queen Bee, Kim was dissing Faith like crazy. Like, Faith Evans has a tattoo right above the biddy.
Uh-huh.
And Lil Kim on that song talks about how you got my property on you. And talking about like I could do this and that in the bed way better than you can. And Biggie,
that is a good song.
Biggie was so just into his feelings, and I obviously didn't want to hurt Faith, but yo, that's gonna sell, bruh.
Yeah,
that's gonna sell. Throw that out there now. The Tupac thing, let's not do that.
No, that was a good decision. That probably was a good decision.
Great decision.
Not to have that on the record, because if that's one of the first things you hear her rap about, she probably can't survive that.
No.
The career won't survive if that's the start.
But it was out though, Chad. Like that, people knew there was that version out where she's dissing Pac and she's dissing Faith Evans, and that was still going around.
Oh, okay. People knew it was
and
out
then you
there.
fast forward to Biggie's death, it doesn't look good.
Yeah. All right, there you go. There's our weird album swap for the week. Lil Kim and Jellyroll. We'll figure out what's going to happen next week at the same time.